On the channel, we have had people say, hey, you should do a video about this or that. And one person gave us a very broad suggestion of you should do great albums from certain years, great singles from certain years. And we've been kind of randomly going at them. And today, Lauren picked another one. Great year, some great singles, the year 2008. Now, I probably eventually won't have to say this, but as we start into this series, so these are from albums that may have come out in year or years prior, but this single was a big hit in 2008.
Yes.
Correct? All right, take us through some.
Well, so yeah, this was 15 years ago, which is crazy to even think about. I can't. But I'm opening up my list with the song "Mercy" by Duffy, and I so wish that we got more of Duffy. This whole album was fantastic, but man, but this single was just so pervasive and so incredibly catchy and like different than most of what was happening around, at the time. And I latched onto it like super hard.
Well, I'll say two things about Duffy. And one is just me. I often say on the podcast that I'm a recovering music snob. And when I first heard Duffy, I very quickly wrote her off as an Amy Winehouse also ran. Okay. Somewhere along the line, someone either gave me the Rock Fairy CD or I heard it at a friend's house or something and realized I was wrong. And then second, and we keep the channel very like positive and upbeat and whatnot, but when you said, I wish we'd heard more from Duffy, if you don't know why we haven't heard more from Duffy, if you remember this song, Mercy, just Google what happened to the music star Duffy and you will be stunned in such a bad way. Because I did that like a year and a half or 2 years ago and I was like, stunned. I couldn't believe what had happened. So, having said that, we swing the channel back up. A fantastic single from that year, absolutely. The next one is one that I think is an artist that's been around long enough now that we just assume has always been around.
Yeah. Just Dance, Lady Gaga. This was her first single, and good golly, I didn't love it at the time as much as I love it now. This is one of those songs that I kind of retroactively was like, oh, that's what gave me, like the Fame monster that I love was all the stuff on the Fame. And this, it was just so catchy and so simple. You're
What's
just
funny is
dancing and drinking.
I remember the first time I heard this song, I remember a friend of mine playing it and I said, oh, who is that? And because I liked what I heard and he replied with, oh, you wouldn't like her. Well, I just asked who it is because I like this song. But I remember hearing that, and then like a couple months later, when I first heard Poker Face, I was like, oh well, that checks out.
Yep.
Like this is great. But yeah, Lady Gaga is one of those people that we just kind of think has always been around.
Yeah.
And she's been around for a relatively short period of time. The next one is another one. I got to see this young lady on the tour for this record. There was the album before this. I knew a guy from a music forum halfway across the world who would not be quiet about this artist. And I just kept being like, oh, I'll get into her. And then when the single came out, it was like, good luck trying to avoid this artist. The song was everywhere.
Yeah, it's Paper Planes by MIA. Full disclosure, this is kind of outside the genre that I usually listen to, right? But there was a Saturday Night Live sketch where somebody was pretending to be her in a Christmas kind of thing.
Nassim Pedrad.
Right, and so she did the pop, pop, pop. I was like, what is that from? So then I had to go look up what it was. And then I heard this and I was like, oh, I get this. I understand why people like this.
The beat on it is killer. The Clash sample is killer. The lyrics are fantastic. And I rarely do this in these videos, but because we focus on the single. If you have not heard this entire record, the album it comes from is called Kala, Kala, by MIA. Stop what you're doing after this video and listen to that record. If you like the song Paper Planes, the whole record is that good or better, in my opinion. It's a astounding record. Now the next one, I'm going to be quiet because I know this artist and I have never heard this song in my life. So I know this video's for me too. A great single I don't remember at all. So tell us.
All right. So back in the year of our Lord 2008, the New Kids on the Block decided to come back, and they had a great song called "Summertime," and it was kind of the soundtrack to my summer of 2008. I have a photo album on Facebook, literally called
Desired Effect.
It was literally called "Summertime," like NKOTB. And man, what I think is so cool about this is like New Kids on the Block kind of. They wrote the playbook for how to be a boy band
Oh yeah,
right?
for sure.
And then
At least from the 80s on, yeah.
right, yeah, for in that in that space.
The Monkees, the Beatles, and the Jackson 5 before that, but yes.
Yes, but this particular flavor of boy band,
Yeah,
they
sure.
wrote the book on, and then you got your Backstreet Boys and your NSYNC, and then the New Kids on the Block came back and they were like, "We're going to show you how it's done again," and they did.
Awesome. The last one that you have on your list is another one I'm not overly familiar with. Love this artist, but I don't really know this song all that well. So again, for me, this is like, oh, I'm going to listen to that song today.
Yeah.
So what song?
It's "I'll Be Loving You Long Time" by Mariah Carey. This was not a big hit for her. She had other bigger hits off of this album at the time. I just like this song a lot better. It's got more of a retro feel to it than kind of what she was doing at the time. This is when she was doing that that really fast talky singing.
Yeah.
And so there's that on here, but it's got some horns and it's got a better beat to it, and I think it's great, and I just think it's fun.
If we're talking about songs in 2008 that were a single that should have been much bigger, I'm going to throw out a bonus pick. "Better" by Guns N' Roses was released as a single in 2008, and everyone who didn't make it a big hit single failed, because that song is awesome. It's one of the best Guns N' Roses songs there is, and but I like that you have that pick that Mariah Carey's had much bigger hits, but this was a hit single that should have been a bigger hit.
Yeah, in my opinion, for sure.
Yeah. So that's the news on 2008. Some great hit singles that Lauren picked out. Ones that there was a couple here I wasn't even all that familiar with. But what songs from 2008 do you love besides those, or comments on these, or like Duffy, if you look into what's gone on with her since then, any number of things. Make sure to leave us a comment below. Share this video out with your friends and family, and show them how delightful your friends on the internet are. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.